Welcome to a Wednesday Command HQ. I am Brock. I'm here with Agent X.
What's up, man? I told you shit's about to go down.
Gas shortages,
NATO,
NATO on the edge of war.
NATO on the edge of war. We're starting to see layoffs at these zombie corporations. Um, yeah, man. But I think we should start with that first YouTube link you got right there. Just like I had predicted, Roe v. Wade, Dobbs decision would come and go and be forgotten and memory hold by Tuesday. And up here in the upper left-hand corner was the Supreme Court this morning. Not a single protester in sight. No one cares. Move on to the next thing. We're in the, it will be memory hold. And all the fear tactics and everything else didn't work. We're on to the actual stuff that's going to be causing people pain now. Oh, there's a runner. Oh, there's a bicyclist. No protesters.
Pedro the Frog, though. So what does that mean? Does that mean that this battle sort of is taken to the states, or people are just going to give up on it?
I think it's going to go to the states. You're going to see um, a very belligerent contingent of liberals fighting this issue and fighting the abortion issue in state houses, but it's largely going to become irrelevant. It's going to be pushed on the back burner for what will be coming up. Excuse me, food shortages, a terrible economy, Fedcoin, um, hyperinflation with respect to food and energy. I mean, what's really scary, something that the uneducated economist was talking about, was we of course are seeing deflationary pressure because of the surpluses for electronics, anything that's not food or energy, right? But what happens when those warehouses go empty? We don't have anything being shipped in from China, so we will see real shortages. Then the supply chain is broken, and it's going to take years for us to reach economic or trade equilibrium again. And in the meantime, we're going to see some really nasty stuff.
Okay, so the uneducated economist was talking about this whipsaw in the supply chain, but ultimately the supply chain is broken completely. Is that what you're saying, Agent X?
Pretty much, we're it's going to take years to get back to an equilibrium in terms of supply and demand.
He made some arguments today about the food chain, and I respectfully disagree with him on a number of those issues, in part because the Department of Agriculture has programs set up to provide stability for agriculture in general, for food, so that this country has plenty of food. And so his same arguments as applied to the food chain in this country, I think, are false and faulty. They may apply to lumber. They may apply to other imports coming into this country, but certainly not food. I think the real threat to the food supply are these cyber attacks against these food processing plants and the resulting fires from them. To me, that's more of a threat to the food supply, is how food is processed and ultimately delivered.
No, agreed.
So I think the uneducated economist, again, with all due respect to Simon, is he's trying to use the same theory that he applied to lumber, which was very successful for him, getting him tons of subscribers, getting him tons of credit in the world of economics and finance. Unfortunately, you got to be intellectually flexible here and really realize some of the common sense things. And I realize he's from Oregon, and his domain of expertise is in lumber. And so Warren Buffett used to say, stick to the areas where you have really good knowledge or skill. And, that kind of applies a little bit to what he's talking about with food and lumber because he knows a lot more about lumber. Anyways, let's talk about your boy Trump.
Sure.
So, Command HQ has saved Trump from this contempt stuff he was dealing with in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. We had a judge, right, who, even though Trump complied with all the orders and paid his fine, even though it was a bullshit order, um, uh, still held him in contempt, wouldn't release him. And then what did we do? We busted the judge's balls. We found a case where he refused, actually, where an attorney had failed to pay $300,000 in back rents, committed PPP fraud during the pandemic, ignored multiple subpoenas after a $300,000 judgment from his landlord was entered against him for documents and other items, had no showed 2 depositions. And we got evidence that at the hearing on the contempt motion brought against that attorney, that the judge was just like, oh, whatever. How about we settle this? Applying a totally different and double standard when it came to Donald Trump. And what did we do? We blasted this motherfucker judge, Arthur Engeron. We blasted him for the hobo judge he is. And what did he do? He backed down in a 1-sentence order today and cut Trump loose.
Before we really unpack that whole argument, I just want to say that, I did extensive research to find every single contempt hearing on Judge Engeron's docket. And I looked at every single order related to that and how he treated all contempt cases, the purge conditions, to the extent that I could publicly view them, and so forth. I looked at all of that, and it came down to the fact that Judge Engeron of the Manhattan Supreme Court, Hobo Judge Engeron, had applied completely different standards to everybody else, and then threw the book at Trump here. And it wasn't until and I was in contempt hearings, by the way. I attended them with Judge Engeron. I don't know, Agent X, if you want to talk about that as well, but we looked at those contempt hearings. We did as much as we practically could, given our lack of time. And, we publicized all of these cases where Judge Engeron treated people differently than Trump. And I think this applied some common sense, at least, to the situation. And not to say that public criticism, especially applied to, the judicial system, would, gain any potential favor. It definitely doesn't. But in this case, Judge Engeron actually finally let up. There's no continuing contempt. And, as far as we're concerned, the purge conditions have now ended.
They've been satisfied. They said that he complied with all the terms of the contempt order or the subpoena and the purge conditions. But it wouldn't have happened if we hadn't attended that hearing, right? Clipped it, showed how unfair he was being, presented it to Trump's attorneys, who then went back behind chambers and chewed the judge out about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then publicized the corruption that this judge was engaging in by trying to get his name in the paper by holding Trump in contempt.
We saved Donald Trump.
You should play the Engeron video. Just do a search for it on YouTube. YouTube nerfed it after it got 10K views 10,000 views in a little less than a day. They nerfed it.
Can't even find it. Look at that.
Yeah,
Talk about a
search
shadow ban. I
for
didn't even know that.
search Arthur Ingeron.
Oops.
Yeah, it used to be the number one result. Now they nerfed it, man. It's all the way down to right there. They nerfed the video.
Want to see the judge causing Trump so much trouble? Want to see the judge holding Trump in contempt? Just watch this wino drink from a 40 during a hearing.
Almost 11,000 views.
More importantly, if you actually look into the description in this video, we kind of explain exactly what Judge Engeron did here, where he let New York's most corrupt attorney, a prolific fraudster, Robert Wallach, off the hook. Meanwhile, he throws the book as described at Donald Trump.
What do the comments say down there?
Bernie Sanders' twin brother.
Well, man, we're doing good out there, man. We really are.
So there you go, Donald Trump. You're welcome. MAGA. All right.
Ultra MAGA, man. We're ultra MAGA.
You talked about Trump's lawyers, Haba.
God, she's hot.
Haba responded when we made some moves with that video, and she was very delighted, and she was very grateful. So she had a little argument with Judge Engeron's clerk, Allison Greenfield.
Yeah, and, loser attorney, loser clerk, loser political candidate.
Absolutely. So, yep. All right. What's on the docket next, Agent X? Do you want to talk about NATO on the brink of war?
Well, dude, they formally invited. I mean, a lot of shit was going down today, right? So they formally invited Sweden and Finland, right? And Russia basically said, if you invite these two countries in, we're going to war, motherfuckers. And that's exactly where we're at. Both sides posturing for war. I think you and I were watching Alex Jones this morning, and there was a little piece on there about the Brinks countries, and you have the dollar reserve countries, mostly Europe, a lot of South America, and the Middle East, most importantly. Going up against these Brinks countries, China, Russia, India, Brazil, and it's shaping up for World War III. This is just another step forward.
So I think Alex Jones talked about Russia and China moving away from Western financial systems, and that in one way or another is pulling like India and what was described in an article as the BRICS country. I probably shouldn't even have brought that up because I have no idea what that is. But India and a couple other countries are now also moving away from the dollar, in part because I think Russia is providing a bunch of financial and agricultural aid to India and Sri Lanka. And this is important because Sri Lanka is experiencing a energy crisis right now, and they're unable to feed themselves. And so where previously...
But Russia is on the verge of financial collapse. I mean, it's pumped up its the ruble, right? But it doesn't have the dollars necessary to pay back its foreign debt. And I don't know if it did default or if it's on the verge of defaulting on its sovereign debt. But Russia is on the verge of financial collapse. And when we see that, or when we get to see that close to it, we're going to see Russia strike at one of these NATO countries, and they're going to use this admission of Finland and Sweden as pretext.
Can you what do you mean by that? With Sweden and Finland joining NATO, are you saying that they're going to try and say that any sort of incursion into their territorial, any incursion that violates the territorial integrity of Finland or Sweden would somehow be the pretext for starting war with Russia?
Well, I think Finland is one of the most heavily armed countries in the world. Um, and they're basically just going to say that it's a uh, it's a that the admission is basically um, an act of aggression. I mean, look at it. I mean, Finland is miles away from St. Petersburg, and a few hours away from Moscow. It's on the Russian border. So it's definitely going to be seen as a provocation by Russia, particularly given how armed Finland is.
This has been going on for a really long time. Not only Finland being kind of on the border with Russia and being a frontier, but also Norway. They have a couple Air Force bases up in northern Norway, and they have sort of a coordination with the American forces, the NATO sort of. I think I don't even know if Norway's a member of NATO, but they've been having these little like squabbles now for at least 10 years with Russian planes flying or submarines or ships posing what these countries have described as a potential threat. So yeah, I mean that could very well be one of the ways in which World War III starts. And the Lithuanian thing isn't easy either. So it's all building up over there.
Yep. Agreed. We have that. We have some interesting stories. Do you have that Fox News link about? Let me find it. This was a very interesting link. Let me put it in the guest chat. All right, I just sent it. Dude, what happened to Seabass tonight? Leaving us hanging.
He wants to take away our guns.
This
What do
is
you
frightening.
think the deer hunter wear Kevlar vest? What the hell you need 20 bullets for?
A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
No amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
But while he tries to claw back at your Second Amendment, we're learning that he's quietly arming the government to the teeth. Federal agencies are buying up an unprecedented amount of ammo. But not for the FBI or the DEA. Agencies that we'd never even heard of are stockpiling ammunition like the apocalypse is around the corner. Do you know what the Railroad Retirement Board is? Doesn't matter. They spent thousands of dollars on 9mm bullets. Are we worried about train robberies? I'm not sure why an American taxpayer is buying retired conductors' bullets.
Really interesting question, Agent X. What do you think?
They're prepping for civil war, man. They're prepping for domestic strife, domestic riots. They're prepping all of the the federal government agencies with weapons and ammunition. I think it's interesting that he brings up the railway board, right? He kind of frames it as retired railroad conductors, but that's not really their. I think their jurisdiction is more than that, and really they're wanting to be able to arm conductors with weapons when the food riots break out. They want to make sure that. Do you remember this over the summer when the trains were being looted in California, the Amazon
Oh yeah,
trains?
I do remember
Yeah,
that.
so they're anticipating. There's no doubt they've got contingency plans, and they're anticipating domestic riots, domestic insurrection when these food shortages arrive, and no doubt they will be arriving. And it's going to take a long time to play out, and you're going to see people going after the transportation system to try to rob trains, uh, vehicles, tractor trailers, and they're arming, train conductors. They're making sure that they have a stockpile of weapons so they can put down any domestic riots that may attack train conductors or transportation sectors. Uh, they also mentioned the IRS. I think that they believe that the IRS is one of the system or one of the government agencies that's going to be targeted by by the rebellion, by the domestic um, riots. So they're stocking up. I mean, they intend to use this ammo against American citizens.
Yeah, you mentioned during the pandemic when those trains were looted in California, and that is what am I trying to get at here? Do you think they're trying to protect the railroad system as a conduit of the supply chain?
Yes,
Because
I mean,
probably most of the goods coming into this country are probably going over those rails.
yeah, I mean that's how a lot of goods are. Here, let me send you this video. That's how a lot of goods are transported over rail. I mean, that's how Walmart gets a lot of its goods. And you're going to have some extremely high priced food when the shortages arrive, right? The price of food is going to go way up, and people are going to target these trains. Um, they're going to target these trains, attempting to steal food. I mean, look at this. This is what happened over the summer. And this was just Amazon trains in Los Angeles. Just think if there are mass food shortages, you're going to see tractor trailers hijacked. You're going to see the railroad hijacked. I mean, the railroad is how most uh, most goods are transported in this country. And remember, we were talking the other day privately. We were talking about how every Walmart is built in close proximity to a train station.
Oh
Like
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's deliberate by design. A lot of goods for these big box stores are transported by train. A lot of them are transported by tractor trailer, but most of them are transported by train and then put on the tractor trailer to be delivered directly to the store. But Walmarts are deliberately planned to be built next to train stations, or not train stations, but railroad tracks. Because in the case of emergency, it's the quickest and most efficient way to get supplies to people. So, and there's always the conspiracy theory of Walmart FEMA camps, but we won't get into that. But yeah, they are arming, every agency of government because they expect there to be domestic riots, civil unrest, when the food shortages come, when the prices spike, and when there's no work to be found. They intend to use that ammo that they're buying up, that Jesse Waters just told you about, against United States citizens. There's no doubt about it. You think the railway conductors are going to be, buying buying ammo so they can go overseas to fight in war. I mean, you're ignorant if you believe that.
Yeah, it's very scary. Let's play the end of that clip here with Jesse Waters.
The IRS is also loading up. They've spent $750,000 on ammo just this year
That's
alone.
a lot.
That's enough for a small army. I guess Zelensky has enough. The timing's strange. The country's going through an ammo shortage, and the government's buying up as many bullets as they can get their hands on. Is that related? Why is the Biden administration doing this? I don't know.
You know, it's also ironic that the Biden administration is doing this while also at the same time publicly discrediting gun ownership.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing. And, one thing to think about, right, is they're making a big hubbub about Trump and how he tried to steal the election and this and that, and yada, yada, yada. How he and the My Pillow guy were going to declare martial law. I mean, it was all far fetched, right? And in the end, Trump was, it's pretty clear he got cheated, but in the end, he stepped aside. He may not have shook Joe Biden's hand, and I probably wouldn't either. And he left, right? He peacefully transferred power, and everything else is just we see that today with, that Cassidy Hutchinson testimony getting blown out of the water by the Secret Service. So it's all a bunch of made up fiction. But, we're really going to go into a period here where we're going to see hard economic times. We're going to see civil unrest. We have the country, was it 60% of the country in the most recent, was it a New York Times poll or Newsweek poll, said we should go to civil war. The country is extremely divided, more divided than it's ever been before. We're in the midst of, I sent you the link and we'll talk about it shortly. We're going to see gas shortages here soon. I sent you the link where the government has not posted the average price of diesel for 2 weeks. Usually they publish it weekly. Why would they hide those numbers? Everyone's complaining about it because they use those numbers to calculate the diesel surcharges. Companies do. And we're on the verge of something very, very nasty here. And what if it's the Biden administration and the Democrats that declare martial law and basically throw out the midterm elections to stay in power? It's a very real possibility. It's a very real possibility if this thing accelerates, because everyone is predicting, the polls are indicating that the Republicans are going to absolutely smash the Democrats in the midterm. And if they get the House and the Senate, what are they going to do? They might very well elect Trump Speaker of the House, but like realistic things they're going to do, they're going to impeach Biden. They're going to go and they're going to have a 15-week federal abortion mandate. You're going to see a lot of these Democrats, a lot of these woke policies rolled back. You're going to see a lot of investigations. You're going to see the January 6th commission get turned over to Republicans, right? And Trump's going to be able to make his case. We're not going to see this farce that we're seeing right now. So what I think it's a very real possibility that they're trying to accelerate the crash of the economy, stir up civil unrest. Why? So they can declare martial law before the midterms and basically forego an election. And it was the Democrats all along who were going to abuse their power, not Trump. What if we see that? We're not that far away.
What if we see a coordinated attempt by the Democrats and the rhinos to declare martial law prior to midterms and then completely blocking Trump from becoming Speaker of the House
Well, they're going
or
to indict
even
Trump, right?
announcing, his next run for president, which will probably happen in the next
Well,
week.
he's supposed to announce on July 4th, but you know, they wouldn't even need to have these show trials, right? They declared martial law, they just hang Trump as a traitor. They wouldn't need to indict him, right?
Don't you think there's some internal strife within the Republican Party? There's some sort of firewall that protects Trump, diehard, loyal people who are really, um,
Yeah, but if what
hardcore
you're saying is
conservatives.
true, right? Like even if let's just say, well, if what you're saying is true, that there's a contingent of rhinos and the Democrats who join together, I mean that wall protecting Trump is going to be meaningless. I mean, it's martial law. We're not going to have a Congress. We're not going to be able to vote. We're going to have a military commander, basically having authoritarian rule.
Well, let's
And
go
I think
down
it's a
that
real
path
possibility.
logically. What would it take for any president to declare martial law? Couldn't the Senate and the House immediately block an executive order?
No, I think under the Constitution that the president has the sole authority to declare martial law.
I think there would be emergency hearings. Well, before we even get to the emergency hearings part of that, so are you saying that the president could completely dissolve our legislature, Congress in
Well,
general?
well, yeah. I mean, for a period of time, right? So okay, so it's not in the Constitution. I guess the state constitutions have provisions for martial law. Um, but the Supreme Court has said that the president has the power to declare martial law. Um,
It's been used, I think, 16 to 25 times in the past. During World
yeah,
War II, it was used. We've seen it used a couple times since. This is a very narrow piece of constitutional law, but it is something that would require, within a reasonable period of time, hearings in Congress to determine whether or not it was, a lawful use of martial law.
yeah. No, you're right. But I mean, it's one thing to think about, right? Because I don't think anybody realizes what we're heading for. I think the month of July is going to be rough because we already saw contraction in the first quarter. The second quarter, or the past quarter, the latest quarter is up. I think what is it, January 8th or 9th or something like that. The new numbers come out, and we're going to see a second quarter of negative growth. And what is that? That's called a recession. And we're going to start to see layoffs. We're going to start to see supply chain issues. We're going to start to see the food chain and hyperinflation of food shortages. We're going to start to see gas shortages. It is going to be a brutal July. And what I think is going to happen is it's going to get worse and worse over the summer. And I really think that there's a real possibility that things get so bad, and the Democrats want things to get so bad, that they declare martial law and they wiggle out of the midterms.
Let's play the rest of this clip.
Is Biden weaponizing the IRS again, like Obama did against the Tea Party? What does an accountant at the IRS
He's
need a
way
firearm
off here.
for?
Waters is way off.
I'm going to pay my taxes, guys. I swear. Don't shoot. Congressman Matt Gaetz is a member of the...
So, yeah, Waters, never known to be an intellectual superstar, is way off with that argument. The reason that they're arming IRS agents is because they're trying to prevent retaliation against the IRS. That's all.
Well, I mean, the other thing is the government's going to want its fucking money when shit hits the fan, and they're going to have people out in the streets collecting their dime. And really, I mean, here's the real problem, right? is so there. I mean, if you listen to the Uneducated Economist and some of the intellectuals along his lines on YouTube and on the internet, they're trying to exacerbate this crisis so they can introduce Fedcoin. But what if they're stalking the IRS, right? Because they're going to go out and they're going to have agents.
Oh yeah, you're
Uh,
right. You
they're
know,
going to have agents going out and and basically enforcing the use of Fedcoin and barring the use
yes,
of cash.
I think you're onto something there. Exactly. I was going to
Yeah,
say the
the
exact same
IRS
thing
is good.
right
The
before you
IRS
got
is going to
there.
turn into the IRS is going to turn into a police force to enforce the use of Fedcoin and to prevent the
Absolutely.
use of cash.
Yeah.
It's a slow buildup.
Wow. That's huge. I think you just came up with something there. In fact, I was going to say that right before you got to it. So that's exactly why they're arming the IRS, is to protect the implementation of Fedcoin.
Yeah, and I think I think you're right too. I think you're going to see a moderate uh, rebellion. I mean, or not really a rebellion, but you're going to see kind of a snubbing of Fedcoin when it's introduced. And really, what the IRS is going to become a police force to go out and enforce the use of Fedcoin.
Absolutely. And the way that they're going to try and get adoption with Fedcoin is by collecting all of your taxes in Fedcoin. So you're going to be unable to pay using any other currency. And so it'll force a very quick adoption because the IRS will come out and then just, you know,
Right,
enforce it.
they're gonna become a police force to prevent the use of cash. Oh, excuse me, the use of cash, the use of bartering, so you can't pay in gold or silver, and they're going to use these police forces to go out and prevent the use of other coins like bitcoins. I mean, the
Absolutely.
IRS is going to become a 3-letter agency like the FBI and the CIA and the NSA. Uh, it's going to become an enforcement
Yeah.
and police agency.
And it will probably be one of the most preeminent enforcement agencies that this country will ever have because Fedcoin will have such a huge control over people's lives.
It's going to be interesting. We should watch this if there is a buildup of like job openings for the IRS and the Treasury, because you know the IRS is a branch of the Treasury for like security professionals and things like that. Because then we'll know that they are building up for um, to become a police force. I mean, I know for a fact, right? I know for a fact that the Treasury is attempting to modernize. I know for a fact, based on my information, it's trying to modernize its data collection and with respect to gross domestic product, imports, exports, the sale of goods. They're also trying to beef up their infrastructure with respect to Fedcoin, I mean, we looked at just at the developer openings. So I think
We were
I think
focusing on the Federal Reserve, though. We weren't
no, we're
looking
focusing on the Treasury.
directly at the IRS department or the branch
Well,
known as the
the
IRS
IRS,
within the Treasury.
well, the Treasury is going to be the one who implements and
We
so the
were
Federal Reserve is
looking
not going to have
implicitly at the Treasury Department, yes. And
well,
there are a lot of openings.
the Federal Reserve is not going to have direct control over Fedcoin. It's going to be the Treasury Department, right? Because the Treasury Department prints money. The Federal Reserve is linked with the Treasury Department, right? But the Federal Reserve is an independent agency that the Treasury is not. But the Federal Reserve has access to the Treasury and can, has some oversight of it. But we will see. I think it'll be interesting to see if we um, if there's a buildup of like security forces and specialists at the Treasury Department, because those are basically IRS agents. Um, with the implementation of Fedcoin. But it's interesting that they're starting to stock up on ammo now.
Did you think of that before this live stream, or did you just think of that now as we were watching this video?
It crossed my mind earlier, but just kind of walking through the analysis, I mean, it's pretty clear, right? Why else would you stock up? Would a treasury or a federal bank, a national bank, be stocking up on ammo? It's because that there's going to be a drastic change in the money system, and not only is it going to have to protect itself, it's going to have to protect the enforcement of its new currency.
I came to that conclusion. This is the first time that I've watched this video, so I thought of that immediately as soon as we were drawing the lines between Fedcoin and the IRS. And for whatever reason, you said it about 2 seconds before I was going to blurt it out. But that is consistent with everything that we're seeing. And, there's going to be kind of both a digital enforcement mechanism to this, and of course now what we're seeing with the bulk purchase of all this ammo and so forth. There's going to be this sort of physical enforcement mechanism, and it's going to be quite interesting.
If you're bartering, right, with gold or silver, or say canned food, even say you have canned chicken and you're bartering with your neighbor, or you're trading with Bitcoin, I mean, is it so far-fetched that the government is going to want to implement and transition to its Fedcoin that it wouldn't have an agent roll up on your house and say, hey, with an armed agent saying, hey, you can no longer barter with cash or gold or silver. You have to use your Fedcoin. Particularly if there's domestic strife and civil unrest.
I have a question for you, Agent X, related to that, and that is, so all these sort of apocalypse warnings, whether that's from uneducated economists or InfoWars and Alex Jones, everybody talking about getting food, prepping, and so forth. What if all of this stuff that people are actually buying to prep will be more useful as a bartering tool than it will be for actual direct use? So, like this My Patriot Supply the Food. I mean, what if when Fedcoin actually rolls out and they start banning the use of dollars or any other bartering system, and the only thing you have left is food, that's going to be the only thing you can barter with.
Yeah,
trading with your neighbor for things you need.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone always uses the argument that, gold has always been a means of barter, or a store of value for centuries, right? But that's not really true. I think what you've seen is that maybe the upper classes in society have always traded with gold and silver, while lower classes have been forced to barter their goods and their services. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Is if shit really does hit the fan, you're going to see people barter with food, like canned food, My Patriot Supply type stuff, dried food. Alcohol is going to be a big one. Services. So if you're, a carpenter, maybe you can go out and barter to build a barn or something for a farmer in exchange for food. So you're going to see like real hard goods and services be used for bartering. And the federal government's not going to want that. It's going to want you to use its Fedcoin.
Wow, this is so dangerous. And I cannot believe that Jesse Waters was talking about like 1800 era,
because he's a dipshit.
Railroad robberies, when you have very serious threats to democracy.
Have you ever heard Fox News talk about Fedcoin?
That's a good point. I have not.
I mean, never once. Hey, we got a comment. Hey, go back and play this. Go back and play this video for our commenter.
This from the very beginning?
Shit. Yeah, just play. I mean, play the first like 30 seconds or so.
Biden has
because this is one of the scariest things I've seen in a long time.
What do you think? The deer you're hunting or wear Kevlar vest? What the hell you need 20 bullets for?
9mm.
I mean, this is scary.
blows the lung out of the body.
Why are these
No
federal
amendment to the
agencies arming to
Constitution
the
is
hilt?
absolute.
But while he tries to claw back at your Second Amendment, we're learning that he's quietly arming the government to the teeth. Federal
Yeah.
agencies are buying up an unprecedented amount of ammo, but not for the FBI or the DEA. Agencies that we've never even heard of are stockpiling ammunition like the apocalypse is around the corner. Do you know what the Railroad Retirement Board is? Doesn't matter. They spent thousands of dollars on 9mm bullets. Are we worried about train robberies? I'm not sure why an American taxpayer is buying retired conductors' bullets. The IRS is also loading up. They've spent $750,000 on ammo just this year alone. That's enough for a small army. I guess Zelensky has enough. The timing's strange. The country's going through an ammo shortage, and the government's buying up as many bullets as they can get their hands on. Is that related?
Oh, it serves two purposes here too, to buy all this ammo because they're depriving the private market of a bulk supply of ammo, and then of course hoarding it so that these agencies can implement their policies, their radical Fedcoin policies and so forth. So the comments here are mostly mistyped. There's a lot of typos in them. But it is true that Fox is a compromised, well, they're all compromised, let's be honest, but Fox certainly is not anything like Newsmax or any of the other very conservative channels. It's kind of like a very diluted version of a conservative media network. So
Just one thing to point out: the Railroad Retirement Board, it's not just in charge of pensions for railroad employees; it's in charge for all benefits, unemployment, sickness, Medicare, Medicaid, and it's going to be another agency charged with, managing the implementation of Fedcoin through these social programs.
that's actually a really, really fantastic point. Yeah, absolutely. So you think the federal government is going to try and roll out the implementation of Fedcoin through these retirement-based institutions that are actually like whatever managing, the retirement portfolios of retired railroad workers.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see it in any agency that manages social welfare programs. But
You know why that is? It's because the baby boomers who are going to retire are going to
right,
be less interested in opposing a lot of these measures, in part because of their age.
right.
They're probably going to go after the lowest hanging fruit first, make sure they're docile, and easy pickings, right?
It would be interesting to see if the Social Security Administration and some of these other government agencies are also stocking up on ammo.
I'm actually surprised that there haven't been more FOIA requests and the publicity surrounding them, both directed at some of these ammo purchases by the government, but also um, about Fedcoin and about some of these food processing fires and all of that stuff. And
Oh, here you go. Here's an article. Dude, they've been stocking up for years. Holy shit. The Social Security Administration. Hold on. In
let's pull it up.
2017, uh, in 2017, the federal government purchased $158 million in ammo for non-military agencies, and it looks like they're ramping it up. So this has been in the works for a while.
2017, when Trump was president.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see. I think this is all to, it's going to be used to quell social unrest, right? But the main use of this ammunition is because we're going to see these government agencies turned into enforcement agencies, and for the implementation of Fedcoin. And I don't know if you know this. So the Supreme Court announced that all of its opinions are coming out tomorrow, right? That the
I
rest
didn't know
of,
that.
and one of them is West Virginia versus the EPA, where they're challenging basically the main tenet of administrative law. And there is a very real possibility that the Supreme Court declares the administrative state, basically, the federal government, the executive branch, wholly unconstitutional. I mean, there is a very real possibility of that. Let me pull up a tweet. There was a good tweet that summarized it. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here it is. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll put it at the top. Maybe you can read it. Okay, I just put it in. So what if what if these federal agencies get declared unconstitutional?
It won't mean shit. It would take years to unpack the power that all of these agencies have consolidated. And it's not like the Supreme Court's opinion is going to immediately go into effect in terms of changing, how those agencies are run. If anything, they would take effect in 2 years from now when the next president is
Well, no,
brought
no.
into
So if you
office.
see, so the idea is that Congress can delegate its lawmaking authority to executive agencies, right? And as you see what this J. Coe is talking about, they can do it as long as there's an intelligible principle. That Congress provides an intelligible principle. So you see these federal agencies, they're basically become judge, jury, and executioner. They make the rules through federal rulemaking processes, right? Then they have administrative law judges hold hearings. Like, let's just take Social Security for instance. You have the Social Security Administration make rules about Social Security and disability, right? They do it through rulemaking because Congress has delegated its authority to the Social Security Administration. So they make the rules, right? They have very broad rulemaking power because Congress has delegated it to them. Then they have administrative law judges. If you have a dispute, you don't go to the court system. You go to the Social Security Administration, and you have to appear before an administrative law judge at the Social Security Administration. And then they make the ruling. And then you have to go through an appeal within the Social Security Administration with more administrative law judges before you ever get to an actual court. Well, you're right. They're regulations. They're termed regulations, but in reality, they're law because Congress has explicitly delegated their rulemaking or their lawmaking authority. And what West Virginia versus EPA is saying, whoa, 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 Congress, this has become way too loose. Um, you know, this is way too. It's like the Commerce Clause. Anything that touches commerce is interstate commerce. It's basically what it's become. It's a joke. And what you're seeing here is that these conservative judges have started to strike down a lot of this administrative law, particularly with respect to delegating rulemaking authority to administrative agencies. And we see that that issue is now up before the Supreme Court. So tomorrow we might see a lot of these agencies effectively be declared unconstitutional.
So what does that mean? What kind of impact will that have on, the state of the country right
I
now?
mean,
And,
there's
and
going to be a lot to sort through, right? Um, you talked about it the past few days is how the executive branch is blown up, and it basically, is touching every aspect of every person's life. And it's been this exponential growth in executive power for the last 70 years. And it's largely been because of Congress and this delegating of rulemaking authority. It's lawmaking authority to the executive branch. And, if we do see something drastic tomorrow, which is a good possibility, I think you're going to see a lot of I think you're going to see Congress have to go back to the drawing board, and you're going to see a lot of these federal agencies suddenly become impotent in terms of their rulemaking authority, in terms of their ability to handle disputes with their administrative law judges. It's going to be bad.
What kind of
More chaos.
what kind of signaling is this from the Supreme Court to the rest of the federal government? Is this the Supreme Court and Clarence Thomas saying that, they're sick and tired of what's going on?
I think so. I mean, Trump has really fundamentally changed the court. I mean, you didn't see that early on, right? Because you saw, Gorsuch break in a couple of opinions, and you saw Kavanaugh break in a couple of opinions. But, you're starting to see him become more solidified and leave Roberts in the dust.
MAGA Queen is calling in.
Oh, MAGA Queen. Dude, we got to play our video for MAGA Queen. We saved Trump.
Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late for work tonight.
Yeah, well, you need to stop getting those street abortions so late.
Who told you?
Well, I mean, Dante called me earlier and told me.
Did he tell you he has reach? Did he tell you that he has reach?
Yeah, he knocked out that IUD.
IUDs murder babies.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
MAGA Queen, we need your opinion on a particular video that was recently made.
Okay, I'm ready.
Should we play the video?
Yeah,
Agent
play the
X?
video. Yeah, play the video. Well, we should tell her.
One?
We should tell her first what happened to Trump.
Why doesn't Agent X ever show his face?
That's actually a really good question.
I think Agent X should come out.
I'm a deep state double agent. I can't show my face.
You are not a deep state double agent.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
But show her the news about Trump.
Did you see what happened to Trump?
What happened? What did he do?
So, Judge Engeron of the Manhattan Supreme Court in New York has released Trump from any continuing contempt. So he's ended any contempt-based sanction directed at Trump. So Trump is off the hook. So Trump is now available to announce that he's going to be running for president on July 4th.
Yeah, that's the word he's going to announce.
Woo!
And this was all because of the work of Brock here, who got in touch with Trump's attorneys and basically took a big old dump on this judge in New York.
Oh, really?
Play the video.
Yeah, I want to see the video.
Want to see the judge causing Trump so much trouble? Want to see the judge holding Trump in contempt? Just watch this wino drink from a 40 during a hearing.
So this actual description here is talking about what Judge Engeron was doing to Trump versus what. So there's a long backstory here. Agent X and I attended a contempt hearing, but I don't want to get too deep into this. Anyways,
hold on. So hold on. Let's just lay it out. So there was an attorney in New York who stole PPP funds, who owed $300,000 to his landlord, had a judgment against him, refused to comply with 2 judicial subpoenas signed by Judge Engeron, no-showed 2 depositions, held him in contempt, and then at the hearing applied a total double standard, because no one was paying attention to this case with this unethical attorney. and basically was like, okay, I'm going to let you off the hook. Why don't we just settle this case? Meanwhile, he's holding Trump in contempt after he's already admitted that Trump has complied with his subpoenas. So we covertly recorded this hearing where Ergeron let this attorney off the hook for contempt and and gave it to Trump's attorneys, who went back to the judge and raised hell. And today, the judge lifted the contempt in a one-sentence order after Trump's attorneys presented how the judge was applying the double standard. So old Brock here is saving Trump.
Thank you so much, Brock. I think that you are what America needs.
He's ultra MAGA, right? Did we lose her? She didn't pay her Boost Mobile bill.
Oh, lost MAGA Queen. Well,
Dude,
here we
our
go again.
viewership went way up right when MAGA Queen dialed in.
MAGA Queen, you got to get a better
Sorry, I forgot to pay my
phone
Boost
deal
Mobile bill.
going.
You gotta get Met Mobile.
Yeah, you got to get like a.
It's great that Brock saved Trump. MAGA, MAGA. Mm-hmm.
He's ultra MAGA, right? I think we lost her again.
Well, it really wasn't me. It was you, Agent X, who saved Trump. So you should be patting yourself on the back.
Dude, we had to do it, man.
It was both of us actually, but
we have to expose this corruption, right? This hobo judge was doing this just for political reasons, and just so he could get his name in the paper and his fat law clerk's name in the paper too.
Yeah, but Trump's attorney, what's her first name again?
Haba. Her last name's Haba.
No, her last name is Haba, but Alina Haba. Yeah, Alina Haba was very grateful for the work that we put in on this, because she had kind of the same argument, and then when we found out about this, it was actually like, perfect combo there. So,
yo, Ryan in the chat, what do you think about Command HQ saving Trump? It was, there's no doubt it was us. It was us. She took the video that we recorded and shoved it down the judge's throat. I bet you anything she was probably like, man,
was the video that you guys recorded the video you just played?
No.
Yes.
That was part. No. That was
the
part
one with
of
7 likes.
The hearing.
No, it was Judge Engeron actually drinking what appeared to be a 40 during the actual hearing.
That was not a 40. That was a Perrier. Okay.
No, it wasn't.
No. It was very clearly a 40. In fact, if you actually go and look at that video again, Judge Engeron, and mind you, he seems like a really pleasant, nice, older guy until we saw him drink these 40s during the hearings, because he had several of these bottles behind him. And, I'm not someone to speak because I drink Mountain Dew on this live stream, but that's Mountain Dew. And here you have Judge Engeron actually drinking a 40 filled clearly with alcohol. I mean, we could absolutely tell that was alcohol.
Wasn't it like we compared the label and it was a Jameson label? But that was irrelevant. We recorded the whole
we did an
hearing.
analysis on that. We actually applied some artificial intelligence to determine the actual label, and it came back as a Jameson label.
How do you know that's what was in the bottle?
Because
you tested it.
Yeah, we tested it. But
it was a mega pint. You tested it out.
It was a mega pint. Yep, it was.
The 40 is irrelevant. We recorded this whole hearing where you let this dude who owed $300,000, stole PPP funds, refused to comply with subpoenas, no-show depositions, off the hook. But then he wanted to hold Trump's feet to the fire. And Trump's attorney personally thanked both of us for doing God's work.
Did he? How did he thank you guys? An email?
By email.
Yeah, actually they did.
You should pull it up.
She sent us an email.
You should.
She actually did. No joke.
Okay, pull it up.
We'll pull it up next stream. Hard to get right now.
No, I think we should pull it up right now.
Where is it?
Here,
No,
I'm
we'll
gonna do it right
definitely
now.
pull it up.
Here, I got it.
Oh,
I
you're gonna
got it.
pull it
I
up?
got it.
Okay.
Do you guys
got
need
it,
me to
I got it.
Photoshop you one? Do you need me to make you one?
No, we don't need to Photoshop anything.
Okay.
We're gonna pull it up right now.
Okay. Yeah.
We
that'd be
didn't even
great.
think we needed to show you the evidence.
No,
We
I
thought
believe
that
you.
you being the
if
MAGA
you-
queen would, automatically trust both of us.
I do trust both of you with my whole life. I just want to see it because I personally want it as an artifact to frame on my wall.
Dude, this is the first email she sent us. I just put it
Oh,
I
wow.
just put it in the show
There you go.
notes. There you
Oh
go.
wow! Thank you.
No
We
joke.
got a personal, and we have other emails too. She
They
took
should
it.
invite
she
you all
took
to
it-
the White House.
Well, he's not in the White
When
House
Trump is
anymore.
reelected.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Dude,
guys
we're
could go in there
MAGA.
and throw
We're
burgers
MAGA
at the wall.
insurgents.
You
We're
guys
MAGA
could go throw burgers at
insurgents.
the wall with Trump. I've
I'm
always
actually
wanted to do that.
Oh, what's that, MAGA queen?
I've always wanted to throw burgers at the wall with Trump, so I think you guys should go do that.
Well, if we get an invite to the White House, right, or any of his rallies, to go on stage, we'll invite you too. We'll say that we're
Thanks,
bringing
y'all. You shouldn't.
the MAGA welfare queen.
You shouldn't have.
I'm surprised
man.
that the Democrats haven't, I don't know, tried to charge us with treason or even
I'm surprised
say
we
that
haven't
we were
been
at
called to
January
the January
6th.
6th hearing. Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Surprised that we haven't been subpoenaed, or in my case, I'm surprised they didn't try and pull some contempt tricks on me.
Dude, if I got a subpoena to show up at the January 6th hearing, I'd be wearing a mask. Sam, Agent X, Deep State double agent.
Deep State triple agent.
Triple agent. No, I want to be the triple agent.
You already are.
We have to be in the deep state.
I'm the third one. No, I'm the third one.
That's right.
So, aren't you impressed that
Thank
we
you, Brock.
saved Trump?
Should we save Trump? Absolutely, we should save Trump. Trump
No.
is the only
No,
thing
are
that's
you impressed that we saved Trump?
Oh, do I think it's impressive? Yeah, I think it's really hot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go.
It
Y'all are
is. Thank
hot.
you.
I think the girls are gonna eat this up. Chick magnets. I'm personally in
Dude.
love with both of you.
Dude, before MAGA Queen has to get off here soon, but we should recap what we were talking about.
Oh, MAGA Queen. If you have
We
a
should
chance
scare the
to-
shit out of her.
So we came up, well, Agent X did at least. We were talking about the IRS buying a bunch of ammo. The federal government right now and all these different agencies, are hoarding ammo and apparently guns as well. And so the theory that we have just kind of came up with, or at least Agent X was talking about.
Well, it's not like the DEA or the FBI. It's like the Railroad Retirement Fund, the IRS, the Treasury, these non-police or non-investigative agencies.
And Joe Biden wants to allow them to get rid of guns, but at the same time, he's letting his government agencies just buy up all this ammo.
Yeah,
It's
That's one part of it.
watching Fox News.
That's one part of it, but it appears to be some sort of implementation strategy for the rollout of Fedcoin, because the IRS is going to be the enforcement mechanism to ensure that everybody is compliant in the use of Fedcoin.
Oh my
How do you feel that? How do you feel that the government is no longer going to let you use your dollars and instead give you a Fedcoin account and say you have to spend your money within 30 days?
Oh,
and tax you
I
if
don't
you
know. That's just, and they're gonna enforce this by ammo.
They're going to enforce it. Yeah, they're going to have enforcement agents.
Well, they're
God.
they're buying a bunch of this ammo and arming IRS agents because of the fact that the Fedcoin is coming down the pipe, but also because of the food shortages, the gas shortages, and everything that the supply chain has now presented us. So they're going
scroll
to
down
try
in the show notes. Scroll down to that tweet Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. The one right there. Right there. Go up. The Cushing operational bottom right there. Expand that one. We're less than 24 hours from a major oil or gas shortage, and the cushion is usually 20 million barrels for production, and we're 1.2 million barrels away. Uh, the the refineries are not getting the oil it needs to ensure the supply chain for gasoline. Go to that link that I sent you. Here, I'll put it in the chat. This is the
I'm glad
scariest
to
thing.
hear that
This
Agent
one?
X drives a
Yeah,
a Tesla, so he'll be fine though.
yeah. No, I drive the Jetson one. Scroll down. Um, See, they haven't released the average diesel prices for 2 weeks. Wonder why?
Oh no.
And
Oh,
everyone's
NA
complaining about
right here.
because yeah, and everyone's complaining about it because this is how they calculate surcharges and things like that. Um, I mean, we're seeing something really nasty here. I think we're seeing we're on the verge of a supply chain breakdown. You might get
Should we
stranded
panic?
out in, you might get stranded out in down in El Salvador for the Fourth of
Well, I went
July,
to
MAGA
Target
Queen.
today, and they be having no tampons. The lady there told me it is a supply chain shortage. I freaked out.
Dude, you gotta use some napkins or some Bounty paper towels.
Yeah, it's not looking good for me. It's not looking good for women across, especially after black market abortions.
Dude. Well, we're on the verge of an economic collapse.
The
Do you
struggle is
suggest
Not good.
stockpiling tampons, Agent
You should
X?
stockpile everything.
What's the
I
I
bought a
alternative?
stockpiled all
thousand
my
dollar
pickles.
I bought $1,000 canning kit today, along with 1,000
Why?
jars.
You paid $1 a jar, bro.
Yeah. No, well, no, the canning
That's
kit
a
was a
bad.
thousand
No, that's
dollars, and
bad.
then I bought
Dude,
a
jars
thousand
should not be
jars.
that. $1 a jar is too much. It's a
Dude,
rookie
the
mistake.
jar costs like $2. It's like
Their jar does
$24
not
for
cost
12.
$2. No, it does not.
A canning jar, yes, it does.
What are you gonna can? If it's anything but pickles, you're wrong.
Dude, I'm gonna can some chicken. I'm gonna can some vegetables. And you're not allowed in my house when the apocalypse hits
Why not?
because no freeloaders,
Okay.
no freeloaders.
What's the
Do you hear
alternative?
Agent X being greedy and selfish
Oh
towards
yeah, all the time,
his
100%.
the love of his life, which is me, the
Exactly.
MAGA queen?
The
This is
MAGA
how Agent
queen,
X operates. That's like his personal constitution.
I know, and it's terrible, Brock.
dude. I'm all about the shekels, man.
All about the shekels.
All about the shekels.
Well, thank you so much for that, Agent X. I will make sure not to show up at your house.
Yeah, go to Brock's house.
Can I go to your house, Brock?
Sure. Yeah.
He has
Thanks,
no
Brock.
food.
You can fly here.
That's fine, but it's just good company, unlike you, Agent. Whatever your name is.
We're you're gonna have to rely on DoorDash if you go to Brock's house.
Is that true, Brock?
No, I'm like a trained French chef.
Yeah, he's a trained French chef.
Oh my
I
god.
went to Le Cordon Bleu. So
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Do you have an associate's degree in French baking?
Dude, we got a question from the
Yes.
audience. The chat wants to know if you have any skills.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes.
I have tons
What
of
are your
skills.
skills?
Besides just being just like hot as hell, like a lot of my skills are I know how to make them Dems fall apart. I can
Can
make
you
a
carry
Democrat
heavy things?
collapse. No. No, I
No.
cannot. No.
Can you plant a garden?
No. No, I can't.
Can you bear children to have, workers on the farm?
I mean, I guess I probably could. I've been slamming back birth control since I was like 15 years old, though. It's like To be honest, if it's just between you and me, probably not.
Oh my god. Oh, you're not a good candidate for the apocalypse.
Yeah, you got
That's
to start
okay.
training up.
I think no, I think that I've been here for enough time. I was here for a good time, not a long time, and
Dude.
I think I had a good time.
Well, I mean, you should definitely take some time off and go to Soak City before the civil unrest breaks out.
Is Soak City? Do you have the address for that?
Yeah, man, it's at Six Flags.
I don't know. Like last time I went to that Soak City, it was like a little weird. I got a disease last time I was there.
Ooh,
Oh my
Agent
God.
X. Saucy details.
Did you get your IUD knocked out?
Yeah, I did. I was on a slide and it just yeeted, which I was really grateful for because I just figured out that they kill babies. So I was like, oh, sweet. Like, no probs. But, like, I could see why people would be upset about that.
You went down the slide and like went straight into Tyrone, who had reach. Like you just like shot right into him, and he knocked your IUD out.
Agent X is really good friends with this guy named Tyrone. He met him at a Chili's in 2022.
Really?
Yeah, Agent X loves Chili's.
I ate Chili's.
I've
I
heard.
think I
doing
know
my
that
research.
Tyrone.
It's the lowest
Oh,
rung
really?
of.
Does he always yell out in a restaurant, long dick style?
He has been known to maybe do that, and I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Okay.
Um,
Triple deep state triple agent, MAGA queen.
yeah.
I love it.
Dude,
Yeah.
it.
No,
I'm
I'm glad
excited.
that I could be. But yeah, I don't have any skills to answer the question in the chat. To be honest, I'm pretty much useless.
Let me ask you this, MAGA queen, are you gonna fill your tank up?
On the day that we're not supposed to be buying gas. Have you guys heard about the boycott of gas?
The rations coming through?
No, I'm talking about people are protesting, so they will be not buying gas the 5th through like the 7th.
What?
Yeah, where have you guys been? Under a rock?
Yeah, man.
What is this, like a hashtag protest?
Is it TikTok trend? Y'all have TikTok?
No, we're too old for that.
Well, if you do have TikTok, follow me. But also,
what's your TikTok handle? Unless you don't want to give it out, MAGA queen.
It's I'll tell you.
Don't give it out.
later.
Don't give it out.
Don't give it out. Don't give it out. Okay.
No, you know what? I think I
But
might
seriously,
give
are
it
you
out.
there? So there's a gas protest.
There is. So people are not going to be buying gas in protest of the gouging, and also women have decided to crash the market on the 3rd through like the 5th by not buying anything in protest to Roe versus Wade.
Really?
Dude, the stock market's closed on the 3rd through the 5th. That's a Sunday through national holiday.
It's a 4th of July protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the people are not going to be buying anything. Women make up 85% of consumption in the United States, and for them to not buy things would severely impact the economy.
What is the name of the hashtag protest? So I can just pull it up here.
You can honestly just look it up. I don't know if there's no hashtag to it. It's just like this idea that people are not going to be shopping.
I think the 5th through the 7th might be more impactful.
Well, let them know, because like I personally can't afford to fill up my tank, so I will not be filling up. I drive the smallest car, and it cost $70 last time. Who has $70? Who?
Do you want me to give you $70, MAGA queen?
No, it's fine. I told you Agent X is obsessed with me.
You can send me some nudes, and I'll give you $70.
Do you want me to write MAGA in them on my body?
Yes, please. Be a
Can
huge turn on.
Can I get that up to 80 for that?
I'll give you 100. I'll give you a tip.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow, this has turned into OnlyFans. Incredible.
Yeah, but he won't let me promote my TikTok, so
Well,
we'll have to create
it's up
another
to you.
TikTok.
Yeah.
he won't let me promote it. He doesn't like my TikToks, he said.
I've never seen your TikToks. What are you talking about?
Then why won't you let me tell everybody my TikTok?
Well, tell everybody your TikTok. I don't care.
No, you said I couldn't.
Well,
Whatever.
before you do that, Mega Queen, is this gas protest, the 5th through the 7th, also related to Roe v. Wade, or is this just simply kind of a protest against the high gas prices?
No, this is against high gas prices. So I guess during the last time price gouging happened, which was in the Obama era, people decided to just like straight up stop buying gas, and that like kind of worked. So everybody's like, "Oh, it works the first time, so like why do we not be doing it now?" And they're like, "Yeah, totally." So they won't be buying gas. And then also that's just gas. The other protest with Roe is like all stuff, like literally everything. Like you cannot spend money on those days.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. If
Yeah.
there's like a rockin' deal on a TV for 4th of July, so you can get like a 55-inch TV for like 150
Right.
bucks, 4K, smart TV. Like, are you gonna go against your sisters, and buy
Me
that
personally,
TV, that smoking deal?
I've actually fallen into 2 TVs after getting wine drunk and breaking both of them. So I'm actually banned from buying TVs. So no, not for a TV.
Who's banned you from buying TVs?
Honestly,
God.
Best Buy.
Okay. Best Buy is a terrible company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they work closely with AA, and they told me if I get help through AA, I can have a TV. But right now, I cannot have one.
That's right.
I think it's
Dude.
a ploy by the Dems. I think that they're trying to get me to not be informed.
Well, you have TikTok, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, TikTok is a very valid source. I do, when I was getting my associate's degree, I did use that a lot as a source on academic papers.
Oh my God.
It's a great source.
No, I agree, Brock. Thank you. I don't know what Agent X problem is.
Whatever. I can't believe you're not gonna snag that TV, man.
I can't. I'm banned. Can you go get it for me?
No, I'm gonna get it for myself so I can have my 18th television in my office.
You're supposed to be standing with your sisters and not doing that, dude.
Fuck them.
No, don't fuck them, because then if you get them pregnant, they can't get an abortion.
Dude, that's right. Oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to turn to the trannies, man.
Brock, can you please step in here?
Well, this is a very sticky situation.
Now I have a question. Are you and your sisters like going to war against the trannies now that you have to compete with men?
To be honest,
compete for men.
there will never be a time that I'll compete for a man in my life. I'm sorry to tell you guys that.
What if it's Donald Trump?
You got me there. You got me there. If it's Donald Trump, maybe. His hair is just like, it's just there, you know?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think if you see some good deals out there, you should snap them up. It's the American way.
I mean, I think so too, but at the same time, like, do I want bodily autonomy? Not really.
You already gave it up when you got the clot shot. What are you complaining about?
What?
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 That's actually a really good argument to use when dealing with pro-choice people, is this idea that, their support of vaccine mandates, yet, they believe that they should have complete control or bodily autonomy with respect to Roe v. Wade. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy, it's a double standard.
Yeah, but that's a red herring argument, right? Because the justification is that abortion is a personal issue, right? It doesn't have an effect, like a direct effect on society. Whereas when you're talking about vaccines and mandates, that is something that has like a very direct public health. Um,
That's not
uh,
completely true, because the rebuttal to that is that abortion has a huge impact on society, particularly the idea that the government is now on the hook for financial benefits
well,
directed at
it's
children
not
growing up.
direct, right? So like if I get chicken pox, right, or if I get monkey pox, like I could literally within a few weeks spread that and kill thousands of people, whereas abortion is a personal right, and yeah, there is some indirect impacts on society. uh, they're not immediate, and they're not direct. They're very indirect.
Agent X got 4 vaccines.
Wow.
Got the
No.
boost. Yeah, booster and then the
Wow.
booster.
Did you see Tony Fauci is like
It's
basically on death's door now, or I guess doorstep. He's
Is
gotten
he?
2. Yeah, he's had to get the second infusion.
And he's come out and he said that he's publicly had COVID a couple times, and you would has he have there been any SADS events yet? Has he just
I don't know, but it
well,
did
we
come out
wish our best
yesterday
to
that
Tony
he had.
Fauci.
It did come out yesterday that he had to get another infusion, um, and that he
poor
wasn't
guy.
responding to treatment. So hold on. So who do you find hotter, Tony Fauci or Donald Trump?
Good question.
It's a clearly Donald Trump. You guys want to play Fuck, Marry, Kill? Is that what we're asking?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, Hope Hicks.
Hope Hicks.
Yeah, Hope Hicks.
All three.
Yeah, she's hot. Hope Hicks. Yeah. Donald Trump and
Cassidy Hutchinson.
yeah, Cassidy Hutchinson.
Hope Hicks.
Dude. What?
Okay, who are you gonna fuck, marry, and then who are you gonna kill?
I don't think we can. I don't think we can talk about that on a live stream. But
okay, you can just do the fuck,
I
marry,
would say,
and then
yeah, I would say like Hope Hicks is super super hot. So
yeah, Hope Hicks.
Dude, I don't know. She's hitting the wall like Cassidy Hutchinson. When women hit that 25-year-old marker, they start hitting that wall.
it's true. It's true. It's
Boom.
very real.
So do you only
isn't
date
it?
women under 25, Agent X?
Yes, I've only
Yeah.
seen Agent X date women generally under 24. That's the sweet spot.
Is it really?
20
Oh, yeah.
to 24.
What happens at 25? You just like roll out?
Yeah,
Yep.
of course. It's when you hit the wall, man.
Yeah, you go downhill.
All
See,
downhill.
I didn't know that.
men start to go uphill at like 32.
Yeah, I know. That's why I be dating men old. That's why I'm into Donald Trump.
I know there's like this, just like Biden's approval ratings, with women, starts to go downhill, and then it kind of goes uphill, just like Donald Trump,
Yeah.
His approval ratings just went straight to the
Well, I'm
roofs.
stressed out because I'm about to breach that 25 mark.
Yeah, it's a bad
get
age for women.
Preemptive Botox.
Oh, should I do it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'll get into it. I mean, I'm not actually anywhere near the age of 25, but one day. One day it'll come.
Wonder if there's some supply chain issues with Botox and cosmetic surgery in general. That'd be an interesting subject to look at.
Yeah, I think you should get your PhD in it, Agent X.
Dude. No way. I thought you had a 6 a.m. flight, Maggot Queen.
I do have a 6 a.m. flight, but to be honest, I have to be up at 3:30, and I might as well just write it out.
Oh my God.
Where are you flying to, Maggot Queen?
She doesn't want to tell you. She's flying to El Salvador. Visit her children.
What?
What do you think about the pilot? What do you think about the pilot shortage?
I think it's gonna suck because they offered me $700 to change my flight this morning.
Dude, you should have taken it.
Huh?
Why didn't you take it?
Because I need to get to where I'm going now.
Why not just, chill out and have a lost weekend over 4th of July?
Thought about it. Oh, I do love 4th of July, and where I'm going, you can't celebrate 4th of July. It's illegal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No one wants to work, including pilots. I'm surprised because pilots get paid tons of money. But I've been watching a number of live streams from these pilots, and they've been talking about it. So,
do y'all work? You guys have jobs?
no,
Dude,
I work for
McDonald's.
What do we do? Agent X.
What?
Forgot.
Well, you're a cook at Applebee's, right? I'm independently wealthy.
I'm trying to become a cook at Applebee's.
Oh, is it hard to get in? Have you tried like
Yeah.
a French Applebee's?
No, because they don't have Applebee's in France.
What? They have French onion soup at Applebee's. It gave me food poisoning in 2015.
Oof.
I lost 3 pounds.
Oh my God.
So I think that you should go and improve their recipe.
It's an excellent idea. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. I'm always here for y'all to give you the best ideas.
What do you do, Agent X?
Dude, I told you I'm independently wealthy.
He's not independently wealthy. He
Yes, I
works
am.
suspicious jobs, side jobs.
Suspicious.
Dude, I'm a deep state
Suspicious
double agent, man.
jobs.
Deep
Why?
state
Wait,
double agent.
why are these jobs suspicious? By the way,
They're just weird. Like I was talking to Agent X one time, and he was telling me about doing some crazy stuff.
like, what do you mean crazy? Like, what about it was crazy?
Like, he told me that he works. Actually, he works for the supply chain, and he's making sure that it does stop, so his Patriot supply goes up.
Oh, yeah, that does sound like
Uh-huh.
an agent of chaos.
Yeah. Like, it's just the conspiracy theory, but, like, his silence right now says it all.
Have you ever confronted Agent X about being an agent of chaos?
Agent X, I'm going to confront you about something. Are you an agent of chaos?
No.
Okay, I confronted him about it. He said he's not.
I think Agent X is controlled opposition.
Oh, you think
That's what I
so?
think.
I think he's a lizard person.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Dude, I
What do you
work
think about that,
deep
Brock?
within the deep state of government.
Yeah, that's exactly what a lizard would do.
Oh my God.
That's like reptile dysfunction.
Dude, I work directly for the Rothschilds.
It's true.
I think that Agent X is personally responsible for making sure that the death of Michael Jackson doesn't get overturned and everybody finds out that he didn't actually die. I think Agent X is protecting Michael Jackson.
It's possible.
What about
Doesn't that
Jeffrey
seem
Epstein?
like no, I don't think you're like quite at the level of Epstein. I think you're definitely working up to it with Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
Well, thankfully no one cares about Michael Jackson, so yeah, Agent X, I'm assuming you have a very creative role in society.
Dude, I
Beautifully
told you
said.
I am a deep state double agent. I work for the deep state, man.
He doesn't work for the deep state.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
You don't know nothing.
I do know everything. Whatever.
I
Maggot
think
Queen, you should go to bed if you have to get up at 3:30.
Do you see him trying to get rid of me?
already.
I know.
Oh my God.
I would say Agent X, you have an important role in society. I know what you do.
Dude,
That's
why don't we roll
beautiful.
to the next topic and see what
We should roll to the
welfare
next topic, and we should talk about the
welfare
impact of all these policies on the economic condition of this country and what's
Well,
going to happen.
unfortunately, I have to go to bed because I have to catch a flight tomorrow, so I can go to the headquarters of Patriot Supply and visit them.
Oh my god.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for calling in, Mag Queen. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I won't be
we
late
love
for
you,
work tomorrow. I
We'll
hope.
see you whenever you can call in again.
Yeah, I won't be late next time.
Yeah. Well, we won't dock your pay if you're not late.
Okay, I won't be late for sure. And I thought I was salary, so to be honest, it's kind of sus.
Well, no. You're
We'll give you a
you're
nice little
hourly.
bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and send me those nudes too before you go to bed.
Yeah, no, for sure. You can just Venmo me, like you did last time.
Okay, yeah. Send me your Venmo too.
No, you know it. You remember you sent me. You know it
That was
already.
Cash App. That was Cash App.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Fedcoin? Can't you guys use
Yeah.
Fedcoin for this?
Yeah, Fedcoined her nudes.
What
Can you
happens
believe
when
that
the
he's
IRS? What happens when the IRS finds out that you're laundering money through Fedcoin, through
he's gonna go straight to jail?
through these negotiations over intimate photos? It's gonna be bad news.
Bad news bear, man.
Yeah, that's true. I think we should be careful more. I think we should be a little more careful about it. Send me cash in an envelope via carrier
Cash.
pigeon. Thank you.
Straight cash,
Envelope.
homie.
Straight cash,
Oh my
carrier
God.
pigeon at my house by 12 a.m. or else.
I'll pay you next week when I'm there.
When you're where?
Where you are,
Where am I?
I know where you're at. I work for the
He
government.
doesn't know. He doesn't know where I live.
Oh my goodness.
Toodles, y'all. Have a great evening.
You too. Safe travels.
Brock,
Take care.
thank you.
All right, Agent X. What else? What else do we have to talk about? Anything?
Oh man, I think we covered most of it. I think
We
we
covered
cracked the
everything.
code on.
Crack the code on Fedcoin for sure.
I forgot that I sent Maga Queen that Jesse Waters video earlier today.
Oh,
I was
really?
trying to shock her.
Yeah, man. It was almost like you were writing some Python to do some computational work on determining the underlying conditions surrounding the enforcement of Fedcoin. So good work on that.
Dude, I'm always
always ready to write some code.
Yep, always ready.
Always ready to write some new artificial intelligence model, predictive model to determine what's actually going on in the world.
Dude, I'm trying to find that Beavis and Butthead clip.
Oh, yeah, there is a Beavis and Butthead clip about white privilege, which is really interesting because I know you have white privilege, Agent X, and apparently I do as well. So I didn't know that I had it until I saw this Beavis and Butthead clip. And I say this without trying to insult anybody who believes in, white privilege or minorities out there. Because, it is true that conditions aren't always the most ideal for certain minority groups. So I get that. I'm completely understanding of those events and incidents.
Dude, we definitely have white privilege.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think you have more white privilege than I do.
It could be the case.
Could be the case. Everything I do, I get the worst thrown at me, and everything you do, well.
Dude, I can't find like the full clip anymore. It sucks. They must have copyrighted striked it. see if I can find it on Twitter.
If you're still listening, please do subscribe to the channel if you can and like the video. I'm just trying to pull up this Beavis and Butthead clip right now. When I was a kid, you got the clip? I hated Beavis and Butthead when I was a kid, but I'm like a big fan of Mike Judge. Loved Office
Dude,
Space.
when we were talking about it today, and then all of a sudden it popped up on Alex Jones. It's hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. This is a classic example of white privilege, and you both have it.
Dude,
What's that?
we have white privilege.
Anyone want to fill them in?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so white privilege is when white people, particularly men, automatically assume they can take whatever they want. And they never have to worry about getting stopped by the police. And they have the inside track for any job they...
Isn't that true? Agent X?
So
have you always felt that way? Like you've never been stopped by the police?
No.
Have the inside track for any job they want.
I love how the white guy does that right there.
Thank you for that. That's white privilege.
His name is Gage, too.
And we have that?
You sure do.
I see.
Whoa.
It's a chum lord name in universities. Gage.
Yeah, you've really opened up my eyes.
Well, I'm glad we've been able to enlighten you. The real question is, do you think you'll be acting differently from now on?
Of course.
Yes.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Step aside, please. We have white privilege.
Yeah. Don't worry. We automatically assume we take on. Please. Okay, you didn't know. We didn't either. Good stuff now.
This is what we were taught, sir.
We're subverting existing paradigms.
This fool. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad we went to college.
Yeah, it's like, now I have the skills for today's workplace.
Well, let's see. What should we take next? Let's take that car.
But that's a police car.
Beavis, you dumbass. Didn't you hear her? We don't have to worry about getting stopped by the police.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Beavis, let's tear ass.
Yeah.
Cool. Sir, maybe you didn't know, but we have white privilege.
Get your hands where I can see them.
I think the problem is you're just uneducated.
Yeah, we're gonna get jobs on Wall Street.
Dude, am I Beavis or Butthead?
Definitely Butthead.
That makes you Beavis.
Makes me none of these two.
Dude, you're definitely Beavis, man.
No, I hate the show, but I do like this clip. And I think Mike Judge is a brilliant screenwriter.
I stayed up and watched this, watched the whole movie, but it's funny. So I was listening to Burmis today, and Burmis was like going on about Mike Judge, and he basically stole. He made a video. I guess he's banned off of YouTube right now, but he made a video and posted it on Rockfan, and he was complaining that, and this was what, yesterday. So we did the stream about the multiverse. What was it Monday? So he basically stole our argument about the multiverse and said, you know, look, they're even promoting this idea of the multiverse in Beavis and Butthead, and they go to space and all this bullshit. So yeah, man, we're definitely getting plagiarized out there.
It's true. And I think particularly this new, I hate to call it brilliant, but it seems to be very nuanced about the IRS using all of this ammunition and maybe potentially the guns too that they've hoarded for the use of implementing Fedcoin based policies and so forth. That's probably going to get recycled too in this media sphere. So yeah, the ecosystem that exists here for this stuff. So yeah. Anyways,
well, dude, you want to call it? It's 11:30. You want to call it?
Let's shut it down. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow or later this week. We hope that you have a great July 4th. Agent X, is there anything else you want to add?
Nah, we'll be back tomorrow. Just keep an eye on the news. Things are accelerating quickly. We saw NATO today, Finland, Sweden. We're seeing the precipice of gas shortages. We're seeing starting to see layoffs at some of these zombie corporations. And right after the 4th of July, we see we'll get the economic numbers, and we'll know for sure if we're in a recession. But yeah, I mean, keep an eye out. Things are going to accelerate and get worse as we head towards the weekend.
Yeah, and if we have time, we're going to try and do some emergency broadcast if anything pops up. We were going to do one with Roe v. Wade last Friday/Saturday. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, from kind of an intuitive perspective, it seems like something's going to pop in the next week, especially around July 4th. Obviously, we have Trump announcing his run probably on July 4th. He's probably going to have some rally to do that. I don't know where he's scheduled to be on July 4th, if it's even scheduled yet, but he's probably going to do it wherever that rally is. So that's probably going to be something that we might want to do an emergency stream about, if we're going to actually live stream his announcement or not. So that's something we're going to consider, as well as anything else that pops up. So we're very concerned, however, about Sweden and Finland joining NATO at the same time that Russia is building up its forces around that area, and that Baltic Sea area up there, where NATO has also kind of.
I think we should do a show tomorrow and use part of the show to tell people how to prep, right? Like these preppers that talk about these bug out bags and that bullshit. Like, nah. Like we should really get into like.
That's actually a really good point.
Prep.
I mean, especially from our perspective, being older millennials, and maybe having more access to digital paraphernalia, iPhones and old Android phones. And, one thing that I've always contemplated is, and I probably shouldn't even say this on a live stream, but I want to share, the information that I have, and that is just being able to quickly get out as quickly as possible. So having something ready to go, just a bag next to your door, or even already in whatever vehicle you have, because you're not going to have time just to grab something, right, Agent X? It's going to be...
Well, I mean, I think that's a little bit blown out of proportion. I mean, what we really need to be focused on is, having your stockpile. Like, listen, like the power's not going to go out, right? That's one thing. Like, we may have intermittent power outages because of hacks and things like that, but I think power is going to be readily available. So I think it's a good idea to have a stockpile of electronic devices.
But
so you can store information on. So download Wikipedia, download some survival guides,
download Wikipedia for sure.
Everything you can, like download books, download everything you can.
But how do you download Wikipedia? That's the question. Like, download it onto a flash drive.
Walk through it. Right. Well, we should walk through that. The other thing is most people don't have CB radios, and anybody can listen into a CB radio. So, is the internet going to go down? Probably not. So
no, I disagree. I think there's going to be signals along the way, and I think if the internet becomes intermittent, it might not go down completely, but you're going to see huge swaths of the internet and the DNS system go down. And, unfortunately, probably data centers that are kind of the backbone of the internet go down. And when the power is cut from those data centers, then you're going to see issues. And those are going to be your signaling devices to really start to think about all this prep work that you've put in, and maybe start to, organize your thoughts more realistically on those issues.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're going to see intermittent outages, but the internet, local area networks, FTP servers, they're still going to be extremely important for exchanging messages.
FTP servers are going to be like CB radios.
Yes, exactly. And that's where you're going to be able to download
BitTorrent
documents
and torrents in general. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're downloading Wikipedia, but that's another story.
And you have to realize, right? So China's on the verge of going attacking Taiwan, invading Taiwan. We're going to see chip shortages. You're already seeing production cut in China and overseas when it comes to electronics, specifically computers. You saw the chip shortages with cars. I think, as we go into July, August, September, I think you're going to see chip shortages. So I think it's a good idea to stock up on electronic devices for, have a couple spare cell phones, if not for communication, but for storing data, to have, Wikipedia or a survival guide or, some type of, manual or whatever you need, handy, where you're not carrying around and lugging around, thousands of pages of books. Your phone, your computers are going to become your libraries and your resources. So when these people tell you, oh, don't, take your water siphons and your water straws and your your garbage bags and your paracord and all,
I think mobility is going to be your best asset.
But I think you're really going to need to keep your electronic devices. I think you should have your main laptop. You should have a backup laptop. There might be a situation where you might have to use your computer to hack into something to get information, to turn on the power, to turn on the water valve, and that computer is going to be necessary and essential.
Well, that's a good point. So we should definitely put something together to address everything that you just talked about, Agent X. So yeah, but anyways, let's shut this down for tonight, and we'll see you whenever we do another show, which will probably be tomorrow. So anyways, have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring.